Okay, good afternoon, our lecturer, Ma'am Sondang, and all friends. Today, I'm Frisca Siahaan. I'm going to present my presentation about language learning theories, especially cognitive theories by Noam Chomsky. Okay, before we go to the second slide, uh, okay, a few questions in my mind. We should have a few questions in mind before studying these theories. Okay, the first question is: do you think language is genetically transmitted from parents? Okay, the questions mean that do you think that language differ to your teens, which is given from parents? Or do you think that language, like in animals, they have language in their genes? So, I think they genetically learn the language. They don't need to learn the language there. They have given the language in them through genes. Okay, I mean, a cat has no idea how to meow. It's coming the cat know that because the care has been give with them. And then the second is, do you think language is learned from cultural means to be acquired as a cultural aspect? Language is learned from culture, means to be acquired as a culture, as forgiving language is not culture. Okay, language is not culture. It is come from our brain, and then it is already come uh, after we birth in our world. Okay, and then the third question is, do you think language acquisition is directly improved with the functioning of brain and mind? Okay, do you think that brain and mind is important? Or do you think the social interaction or cultural aspect is important? We have different viewpoints and different focus points. We have many different viewpoints. So, what is mean by language acquisition? The first, we need to understand what is language acquisition. Then we will move back to our community. Okay, and then we are going to the third slide. Okay, what is mean by language acquisition? Human acquisition of ability to use language rapidly by exploitation the words, sounds, phrases, and grammatical norms. Okay, human acquisition often language is grammatical norms. I mean, in a language, you never have word, phrases, songs, but if you don't have the ability to use them and then to explore them, you have not learned the language. For the example, if take example of jungle dialects for 3 months or so on, we have no idea how do you use this word and the grammatical norms, reasons, structural, morphology, phonetics, and so we just fail to convey the message. And then the capacity to successfully use language requires great command over rules, sounds, morphology, structure, and extensive vocabulary. Okay, the capacity to successfully use language requires great command. Language acquisition means having great command over rules, sounds like song. These are universal, most universal morphology, how you form word structure, how to make the structure, and extensive vocabulary. That extensive vocabulary, it says that you should have the extensive every knowledge of a language. And then, in my opinion, I think vocabulary is a lot more important than anything else. If you have vocabulary in particular language, you can speak the language, at least you can make ungrammatical language, at least you can make constructor whether you are wrong or not. And then we are going to the fourth slide, the different point of view. There are basically 3 points of view about the theories about the language acquisition. The first, cognitive theory by Noam Chomsky. The second, social interactionist theory by Lev Vygotsky. And then behaviorist theory by Skinner. Okay, and then the next slide. This theory given by Noam Chomsky in 1960s, okay? Who has not wrong if you are a student of linguistics, you will have a word view that I was a great linguist and he had a lot of research state and very famous for giving the universal grammar and for giving a lot of other discoveries. So it was given by Noam Chomsky in 1960s. He had also given will language acquisition device. And then the second followed mentalist approach based upon cognitive learning, in the bracket the way by which we relate new things, events or items of knowledge to concepts already in mind. Followed mean based upon formative learning items of knowledge to concept already in mind. This is the key word here, to concept already in mind. This theory believes that we have something in mind to which and then we related new word, object and ideas like a newborn baby. According to this theory, newborn baby something already in mind, which is mentalist. Like this, a mentalist compare the new ideas. I mean, you have something, some knowledge, some basic knowledge in your mind, and this knowledge your companion. According to this theory, it's critical that you already have the basic notion of basic concept of the language to which you can relate the word and noun and sentence exercises. Okay, and then the third point, by mentalist we mean something related to mind thought processes. Okay, by mentalist we mean and something related to modern heart process. Okay, and then relating in mind and you are relating new concept to it. For the example, you have a determined knowledge of what knowledge, like instinctive knowledge, that knowledge something which has resistance due to the meaning. Then someone teach you, the teacher is enough and you are every did this new knowledge with previous in mind about noun, then this is a procedure will be called mentally. And then the fourth, this theory rejects or somehow neglects social or behavioral aspect of language and focuses on human mind and natural capacity of human mind to learn and acquire language. Okay, and then we can go to the example. For an example, someone say you, boy is kimono and Emma is proper noun. You have the knowledge in your mind that what is mean one by one and what is the mean by the proper So you can relate this new information to the previous exist information. This theory, the fourth point, this theory rejects or somehow neglects social or behavioral aspect of knowledge and focus on human mind and natural capacity of human mind to learn and acquire language. This theory, this daily reject that society is important behavioral aspect, other behaviors of that, and focus primarily on human mind. The human mind is the responsibility or responsible for learning the language and native capacity of human mind to learn and require a language for Noam Chomsky. Whatever the natural capacity or the natural ability to learn the language so that we able to learn these complex structure rules and vocabulary items. So we need vocabulary for our brain. So I think the vocabulary is more important than other. Okay, and then the sixth slide, language acquisition is an innate process. Okay, innate process is a natural process It's a stress-free process. You don't need to be constantly present with just conscious and a stress-free process by the child and history discuss entirety. And then the second point, this theory discusses the mental grammar or universal grammar in detail. And then the third, universal or mental grammar means child is born with natural ability to work out the underlying system to the jumble of sounds and words he hears. It means that a baby with a natural have ability in her or his self. The last point, Chomsky says that language is so complex and this is becomes possible for a child because of having innate ability to learn it. Okay, and then we are going to the seventh slide, language acquisition device, special area of brain whose only function is to process language and is separate from and other mental capacity the child has. Okay, language acquisition device is the part of human brain that is primarily responsible for functioning that the language or which is responsible for processing language for the learning. Okay, I mean in the brain we have a multiple parts and every part is responsible for a specific scales. And then the eighth slide, this is the language acquisition device, Chomsky in 1965. The language acquisition device is a postulate organ in our brain that is supposed to function as a cognitive device for learning symbolic language. For the example, language acquisition. This is okay, this is the area of our brains. Okay, color concept, noun retrieval, verb retrieval, brackets area, word and word sentence implementation, and then weakness area. I mean the language here we have word from and sentence implementation. This is the part we implement the sentences and where continent. So human brain is designed according to the fact that this if you support minions. Okay, and then here the last slide, universal grammar. Universal grammar is a linguist theory developed by Noam Chomsky, according to which all human language are constructed on the same abstract template, and that this explains why all normal speakers acquire their native language quickly and accurately. Okay, we are going to see the universal grammar in another aspect that tells you that human language are constructed on the same abstract human. For the example, you know, do we have this English? We have no, you know, we have failed in English. Okay, and then the second point, all the language have similar grammatical concept with the slight differences. And then the last point, the set of rules that is taught to be able to describe all the language. Okay, I think that's all for our presentation for today. I'm sorry because I have so many mistaken. This presentation for finish our final semester about the second language acquisition. Okay, thank you, ma'am, and see you. Bye.